everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I am working on my old house. So I've got a bit of a project going on. Let me show you what I've been up to. So this is what used to be my daughter's bedroom, and this is that beautiful beige carpeting. When I bought this house, this carpet was brand new. It has had 3 tenants since then, all long-term. 2 dogs. One tenant had 2 different dogs at different times. So for the most part, I was able to bring my rainbow vacuum over. If you have pets, I highly recommend a rainbow vacuum. It is better than any Dyson or, shark animal cleaning vacuum that there is ever made. But these people didn't hardly vacuum at all, and I think they mostly hung out in the basement and let the dogs sleep in the bedroom. So every day I get here, I open up all the windows and try to air it out. So over the weekend, I spent the time and decided to go ahead and clean the carpet to see if the smell would get out of the house. This room has always been used by everybody who's ever lived here as a den. And I think it's because it opens up to the living room and it's got a sliding pocket door, which is super cool. And then you're not kind of shut off from the rest of the family. But it also has a closet, so it can be used as a bedroom. So I've got this one spot here, and let me show you what has happened. So this is the whole floor today. Now this is just sunlight coming in. That's not a stain. It's just everything coming in. But this is the room that I was installing this light fixture in a couple weeks ago. And the room is much brighter without having the carpet in here because of this beautiful honey colored floor. So I did a little test, and I had pulled up some carpet in the corner of the closet to see how it was looking. But they had obviously had some ink problems in here with pens. Now there's a really bad stain right here in the wood, and this was all the way through to the from the carpet and through the padding. So I'm going to clean this lightly with something, and because I'm going to want to do a resurfacing on this, I'm going to do what's called screen coating, where you use an orbital sander over the whole floor to take off just lightly the top layer and the scratches and put a new coat of oil or polyurethane over the top. So it'll help kind of cover up any nail holes from the tack strip that I pulled out. So I'm going to show you kind of what I have done. Now the neat thing about this is you really get to see the bones of a house when you do this kind of work. And this was really interesting to me that this right here is actually unpainted baseboard, and it's bare, and it's really, really rough. So I kind of thought that was interesting, and I could see marks where their carpeting tools had ran into it. So I knew that this wood floor had been here for a while before the carpeting, and judging by the condition of the floor, the carpeting I took out was probably the second carpeting. This I found really interesting. So this is not the original wood floor. See these gaps? There is another wood floor underneath here. So for some reason, I kept wondering, maybe the floor wasn't level and there's no way to find out without tearing the whole floor up. But this is a more modern wood floor that was laid over another wood floor. And I think just over renovations time, it has happened. So I could see here under this trim, I can see another wall behind this layer. And things just weren't adding up and making sense because of that. So I'm gonna have to get some quarter round and either paint it white or stain it to match the floor. So I'm gonna paint all of my baseboard trim. And you can see here, even the floor register sits up slightly higher because the carpet was tucked underneath it. But to accommodate for that, I would have to put new holes in the wall, which probably aren't going to line up with the screw holes for the vent. So I think we're going to quarter round around it. I'm not real sure. But it all did really, really well. If you have gray wood where it has gotten wet, usually you see it in high traffic areas like right here. I've got a plywood subfloor underneath this tile, and then there's like some kind of a metal strip between the two. So wherever that was mopped, sometimes this area will turn gray. Now here, for whatever reason, there's a little more dark spots. I'm gonna have to sand this real lightly so that I don't take off the stain, only the top layer of like a scratch coat of the varnish. But I want to get these black marks off, and that's why I figured it was probably a second. Oh, I missed the staple right here. That's why I figured the carpet job that I just pulled out was probably the second one. Neat thing for pulling out staples, real simple. I just use a screwdriver real carefully so that I don't gouge the floor. My little guys, if they're in the room, they're wearing shoes so that they don't step on this stuff. But we've got it mostly prepped and ready. I'll have to go over this with a vacuum before we do that. So go ahead and follow along. All this is going to come out. I'm starting a pile of carpet here. I'm starting a pile of carpet here in the living room. So you can see it cleaned up really well, even with my kids being in here. Every time I'm working on a house, we have to bring lunch with us, and it's always stuff like SpaghettiOs and ravioli. But I just brought over some twine, and we're rolling it up. And you can see you go along in here. It's not terrible carpet at all. It was a real good quality carpet. But for saleability of the house, with this dog smell that's in here, it's, even after cleaning it, I can't get it out, and every time I come in here, it smells. So the first thing we're gonna do, I'm starting in the little rooms first, just for, ease of myself. And you can watch along and see how I'm doing this. We're gonna take off the closet doors. I've already taken the doors off of the hallway entrances because I cannot roll it up and get down in there very well at all. Okay, so here's a little tip for you. A lot of people, homeowners and DIYers, when they're removing carpet from a room like this, will tear this padding out. I have a nice trick for you to save your knees. I have knee pads, but they're always a really hard rubber to crawl around on. And it's hard to balance my knee really in the knee pad without like tipping over. I've left the padding down when I worked on my last room, and I go around the edge and I pull it up. Now this is a foam piece together type padding. So it leaves a little staple and a little piece of foam wherever I have pulled a staple out. And in this case, they've gone along the seam and put staples and occasionally around the edges. So I pull it back. While I'm on the padding, and then I fold it back, and then I will use my screwdriver to real gently lift that up. And I've got my needle nose pliers handy. And I also have, that I picked up, these Master Force pry bars. And I had picked, I had picked up this real light one, and I think I picked this up at the dollar store a long time ago. It is such light metal. So this one isn't a real good quality one to have on hand. I had picked up the Masterforce ones at Menards, and I think with the 11% rebate, they were about, you know, $10 or $12 for the two of them. It's worth having. And this one is real flat. It's like my hive tool for beekeeping. It works really well if you have to remove your baseboard, because you can tap a hammer right on top of this to be able to pry that out. Now with this room, I'm not gonna hopefully have to do anything like that, like I showed in my last room, because a quarter round has already been added to this at some point. So we're gonna go through, we're using our screwdriver. Everywhere that I pull back on my foam, it leaves a little bit of foam at the staple. So I just go around. So everywhere that there is a staple, it leaves a little piece of foam, generally, not always. So you want to make sure that you're not hitting those with your sander. See, like here. And I am going through and I'm pulling them up right away, because we've got little kids here. You can hear them in the background. And I just put the staple aside into a pile or up here into the baseboard area. Now for your carpet tack strip removal, this will pry right underneath there. Sometimes you have to give it a little tap with a hammer. And of course I've got one hand right now. Okay, so pull it up, move along. Now tack strip, it's called tack strip because it is nailed down to the floor and the carpet is tacked into place on top of it. So you can do this with gloves on, and it's not a bad idea because you can catch yourself with a stapler or a nail. I got myself the other day, and I always keep peroxide and stuff around. But these little tack strips, they'll tear your skin right open, and it hurts like a son of a gun. And I will tell you, like, cable has been installed in this room at some point. They don't go through under the carpet to clean. This is very dirty under here from years and years of everything going through the carpet, through the padding. And if you saw the carpeting when I pulled it out, some areas are worse than others. So I had noticed, like here, wherever there's a doorway, it's quite a bit dirtier. And for whatever reason, I've got water spots in the entrance of this room. So I'm hoping it's gonna all buff out real good. So we're gonna get back onto this. So whether you're wanting to take out your carpet and your padding to refinish your own floor, or because you have new carpeting coming in, I will tell you a huge money saver is uninstalling your own carpet. And in the beginning part, when I was rolling up my carpet to get rid of it, I'm actually selling my used carpet to somebody else to put in their rental house, because there's still a lot more use left in it. If it's like a rental that they're allowing pets or they're not concerned, there's no cigarette smoke, there's no heavy dad stain, and a lot of times for small rooms, like a mobile home bedroom is a lot smaller than this room or my other rooms. So in our area, small home rentals are really, really high right now, and sometimes when a tenant comes in for a year with kids and pets, then they're buying new carpet year after year. I'm really lucky. We're close enough to Detroit that there is a dealer in Milford, Michigan called McNabb's Carpet Company, and they get the auto show carpet after it's been used for that event. And they have other events that they will sell carpet, basically kind of like on a lease. They get it back and they resell it to you for like 25, 50 cents a square foot. So we've been able to carpet an entire main floor of a home for maybe $200. My carpeting in my basement here right now is a auto show carpet. You don't get a lot of color selection or quality selection, but certain companies you can get carpet remnants and things like that also at a discount, so that's a good way to go too. So I just wanted to show how to take out the tack strip, because if you are wanting to do your wood floor or put something else down like laminate flooring, we've got solid oak floors under here. So they're worth restoring, because then I'm not investing in any kind of carpeting to cover it up again and have a seller come in. In our area in Michigan, hardwood floors are really, really popular, and they're a great seller in a home. I'm spending time into doing this. The machine to rent it is $20 for 4 hours. So I'm going to be able to increase the value of my home by finishing the wood floors instead of decreasing the value or taking away from it from the odors of the dog smell. And if you're a pet owner and you think dog smells aren't that big a deal, or cat smells, one of the first things a realtor or any real estate show that you ever see on the internet or on TV says, get rid of that animal smell. Get rid of the animals, house them at a friend's house, air out the place. We've been airing out this place every single day for maybe 3 weeks, and it is tough to get rid of. Smaller pry tool has proved to be very valuable because you can actually gouge the wood floor with a screwdriver if you're not able to get underneath it. And whoever stapled this floor did a much better job than in the other room. Now it's unfortunate, but carpet padding generally comes only in these like 4-foot rolls. So almost every room is going to have a seam or more in it, and it's stapled all along the seam. We are rolling this up and we're including it in with the sale of the carpet. So I'm trying to not tear it up too awful bad, but you can see it just naturally kind of comes apart as you work. So this is my floor all finished and swept up, and now I'm adding even more echo to the house. One thing about filming in an empty house, it sure gets noisy. So I can say that probably what had happened is this room was so bad, so there's scuff marks from furniture, And there's these weird swirl marks here, like somebody tried to polish it. And I don't know how well, yeah, you can see that. I don't really understand about that. I think they used a product to go over it. This floor is gonna need more than the screen coating. It's gonna need a sanding because I have water spots for some reason going all the way over here in the worst area, and water rings in random spots, like somebody's bed was here and they were using the floor for putting their drinks down on, and here's another one right here that was really bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand this whole room, and you can come back and see how it has all finished up. So a little more work to do, a lot more staining in this room. We're gonna have to cut and splice in we're gonna have to make two separate videos, one of refinishing and one of screening. So I'm gonna have to find out the color code for this, find out a match. Let me know what you think. It is like the best I can say is a honey red oak, maybe. A little more red around the edges where there wasn't wear, and a little lighter in the center, but it is going to be beautiful. We're gonna add to the value of this home. This was a big, long job today. I got another bedroom to do at least before the end of the day. So I just wanted to show you how the rooms are coming out. I have gotten the master bedroom all stripped, and I had a realization. My husband came by to help me haul the carpet rolls out that I had sitting in the living room so that I can continue. Yes, I am doing all of this on my own. I have got 5 children here with me. I set them up with a little TV in the basement, and they've got their Kindles and they're having a good time. Right now, Georgie and Bethany are in a little wrestling match out on the rolls of carpet. So this spot here by the window was exceptionally bad, and I thought they must have left the window open. We recently found out that the tenants had not called about a roof leak, so that's one of my next projects. And I had spotted it because there is a difference in the ceiling right here. I had realized that there was a difference in the textures in the ceilings. So this was something that was added and rolled on, and the whole kitchen area had been taped off. Right here we have a water leak, and I thought, how am I gonna patch this? I'd completely forgotten about this over the years. So we're gonna fix it, we're gonna patch it, and I'm gonna texture this part of the ceiling so that it will match. Otherwise I have to scrape all this off, and the rest of the house has the same material. And this did not exist in the 1950s. So this answers my question as to why there is a second floor here. They had an insurance claim. The roof had gone bad. This floor got overlaid over another floor, and then they got a roof job and decided to not go ahead with a refinish in here. That's why it was at least the second layer of carpet. Where this, you can tell, is the original floor, because at some point they had done some work and then added the quarter round around the outside. So it must be that maybe they tried to save it and it didn't quite work out well. So I think it's worth the time. It's still definitely worth the time. You can see I've started here in the living room. You can see I started here in the hallway and living room. I don't know how much later I want to work tonight, and this room does not have any light fixtures. So typical living room, no ceiling light, and it's going to be getting dark in the next couple of hours. And boy, when the sun moves around for the evening, it darkens up fast. But it's going along really, really well. So like I said before, sometimes you can kind of figure out the bones of a house, and if you do a little bit of thought process, maybe sometimes with the help of a husband or another person thinking on their feet, you can figure out the whys and the hows of things happening. So that is the why and the how of this house. Water damage, new wood floors, semi-new wood floors. So I am going to be itching to start in on my next project. So I'm going to be giving you some updated videos of what's going on with the house. Remember to watch for the end for the befores and afters. I know it's going to look really nice, and it's going to be a huge improvement. So many projects to come. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Remember to hit that like button for us, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.